Chairman Vijayan Group of Educational Institutions, Padma Bhushan Dr. Gopichand, Dr. Koteeswara Rao, other dignitaries in the dais, of the dais, parents, young graduates. It's indeed my pleasure to be there in your graduation day. I just will like to share some of the thoughts, not too many, because you have been loaded with thoughts. What I would like to take at this point is our beloved then scientific advisor and secretary, who was earlier in my chair and become the president of this mighty nation. Dr. Abdul Kalam once said, strength respects strength, means in order to receive respect, you must sometime flex your muscle. You all are born in a modern era where there is no deficiency of phones, there is no deficiency of computing power. When compared to our days, you are born with much more facility. That does not mean that you have automatic strength. You are also expected to do much more than what it is today available to you. When we were born, we were called third world countries. That means we even used to get some amount of aids for children, milk powder, for good health, used to come from various countries, donor countries. Today we are third in the world. I'm sure you must be with your degrees in your hand, must be bubbling with joy to take this country from third in the world to first in the world. That is the strength that you must derive. How do we establish strength? How do we establish ourselves in the world? One of the things what Dr. Kalam, who was the missile man, did by bringing in a program called IGMDP, Integrated Missile Development Program. Under that, he brought into the country several type of missile. He started with what is called ballistic missile, where if an area to be targeted, it all depends on the velocity with which that you initiated the missile and the direction in which that you sent the missile. But you don't have much control over it. Unfortunately, when the distance is larger and larger, the environment has got its own say, be it a wind velocity, be it the rarity of the air, be it the weather condition, change the course of the missile, and thereby the target was not accurately met. However, if you have a weapon which is a large area coverage, to some extent it is acceptable. The next one is guided missile. If you are having a range which is about 30-40 kilometers, where if you would like to hit another aircraft which is coming towards our territory, then you can see both the missile, our missile, and the target aircraft through the same radar, in which case you can instant to instant guide. That is second part. But then if the range becomes larger and larger due to curvature of the earth, you cannot see either your missile or your target. So you need to do some other mechanism. That means by then the GPS came in. We started putting the GPS in the missile. GPS gives the location of the missile. Missile knows where to go. Instant it decides. Instant it maneuvers and reaches the target wherever it is supposed to be. Again to an area or a target which is predefined. The next level is, in case you have a target which is not fixed, it is moving on the air, it is an aircraft, then that has got a motion and its position is not fixed. So you have to have what is called seeker, which is nothing but a radar inside the missile, which again detects instant its own target and goes towards it. Subsequent to that, we started making missiles, what is called cruise missiles, because if you send the missile very high up in the air, you will be detected, probably will be shot. So what the technology or the sort of imitation is that you go low as possible, hugging the ground, maybe for 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, why even up to 1000 kilometers, and raise up and hit the target. That is called cruise missile. The next one is when you are having so many varieties of missiles, they are also categorized by the velocity. When the velocity is less than 330 meters, that means less than velocity of sound, you call it subsonic. And then we went ahead with a supersonic. Then we are now working towards hypersonic. That means 5 times the velocity of the audio we will be able to go. And recently, Akash missile was handed over or inducted into the services with the Air Force. This occasion or this function happened a couple of months ago in Gwalior, where the Air Force got inducted from our RM, Raksha Mandri. That work started virtually about 2.5 decades back. You must understand, when we are talking about a technology which is of that kind, a complex nature, it takes deep-rooted technology, deep-rooted knowledge, sustained energy is needed. Similar to that, we have started with another program. So our missile strength is in growing from one point to the other point, coming up almost at par with international standard today. We have a capability to even export these missiles, and we are having a need of about 1,74,000 missiles are needed. And next aspect is strength in airborne surveillance. As early as 1985-86, we started another program called AEW. That's the time even Americans started their AWACS. They have taken 15 years to put it on. We also took nearly about 18 years to put it on. Unfortunately, that program suddenly has to stop because of the accident what happened in Arakonam. And I was blissfully associated at that point of time, and I am thankful to God that I was not in the sortie which went through the crash, but I was in the sortie prior to that, just one day and one sortie prior to that. And ever since, I was asked to work on what is called indigenous AWACS, which is almost ready. Now it is going to get inducted this year. In addition to that, country is going through a requirement of another 8 numbers of bigger AWACS, which also needed by several countries, including South American countries. That's our strength in the airborne surveillance. It's not only in the weapons and surveillance, and which is slightly Greek and Latin to common man is alone we work on. You take of a place, all of Leh, which is remotely placed with respect to us, and it's only 5 months connected to the rest of the India because of the road connectivity will get stopped once the cold season comes, and the only connectivity that is available is through air. And there again, if you go there, it is a high altitude, cold desert, but if you can go there, you will see like a bonanza or like a oasis. You will see a beautiful garden created by our group of scientists, and they have generated huge amount of fresh vegetable and other alternatives for them. An yearly consumption is about 13 tons of your fruits and vegetables, and nearly about 5 tons is already generated, and the work is on for generating more. It is not using any simple conventional technology alone. Greenhouse effect, in addition to that probably the solar, in addition to that geo heating. That means about 1 kilometer to 2 kilometers depth. If you go inside this earth, you have very hot stream waters are going on, and that if you could tap and then take it out for growing your garden or heating your garden, that is another source of energy.